Look so forward to having you just kind of share with us some things that are going on with you and how things are working out for you as we move along and we're trying to figure out where we belong, what we need to do, why things are not working for us. And I know you've got a host of information that you can share with us. So, the conversation today is more or less about your intentions and your goals and finding out which is more powerful, which one is actually going to benefit you and in what area. So, I'm going to let Carol start out by telling us about intentions versus goals.
Uh, when I started to learn more about what intention was, it just spoke to me at a very, very deep level. And I even wondered why that was. I was never a goal setter, I was never a list maker. But when I started learning about the nature of intention, it spoke to me so deeply that it it helped me to become more aligned with my vision, with my purpose, with my calling in life. And that's how I feel about intention. It's organic, and it's not something that I have to think about. Whereas with goals and objectives and having a plan, not that I don't have a plan per se, but it flows, and whatever is needed to to pursue or to shift or change in any given moment, well, then I allow for that, because my intention, my calling, it's who I am, basically. And with intention, everything just flows. It has its own flow. But when we're in such a mental state with setting goals and objections, it's all about success and fail. And you know what happens when we go into that mode? We start feeling bad about ourselves and getting overwhelmed and feeling like this is never going to work. I'm not good at this. I shouldn't be doing that. All the shoulda, coulda, what is all that mental stuff and the negative belief systems that we come into the world with start piling up on us when we're talking about goal setting. But when we're
Yes.
aligned with who we are and what our calling is in life, that makes it so much easier, and we're guided actually to where we need to go.
Let me ask you this. Do we need both? Do we need intentions and do we need goals at the same time? Or is that something that it's so different that we don't have to work on them at the same time? If we've got a plan, I know we need an intention as far as that's concerned. What are your intentions? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go, or what have you? But is that when the goals come in, or is that later on?
Well, I don't even. To me, they don't. They're not part of the same language to me,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't talk about goals per se. I just think about, okay, what's next for me to do to move from point A to point B, and I allow myself to be met by that, if you know what I mean. I feel that whatever I'm looking for, it is looking for me as well. So I don't get caught up in all the different steps that I have to do. Yes, I sometimes have certain specific things that I would like to get done. And you can call them goals, but just know that they're loose, to hold them loosely. And so when I go and do something and then I don't get the outcome that I perceived would
Mm-hmm.
be, well, then I just try something else.
Try something
I don't
else.
get caught up in the fact that, oh, this goal, I didn't reach this, and oh my gosh, I'm bad. I did something wrong. I don't go into that. So I just stay steady with why I'm here and what I'm supposed to be doing so that I don't get caught up in that language of good, bad, right, wrong. And that's where goals lead us.
So, how do we tell the difference in the two?
We can tell the difference when we're going into anxiety and stress. We're not meeting our goals, we're not hitting our mark. But when we're fully aligned with intention and who we are, there's just a flow and oh, okay, this didn't work. Okay, so I'll do this. And there's no thinking involved. There's just flow. Everything just kind of flows with life.
Wow. Wow. I do so believe that. So, more or less, we can actually have both. We can have an intention and we can have goals as well. You want to speak on that, and then I'll kind of give my uh, little bit in after you get through.
Sure. So I very loosely set goals, if you will, if you want to call it that. Um, I say I have certain things, steps that will move me from point A to point B. So, for instance, I want to get my message out there to as many people as possible. So, how am I going to do that? Well, okay, let's think. What do I have to do in order to get my message out there to as many people as possible? I have to find places to speak. I have to know what my message is. I have to be able to know who I'm talking to. So that is in alignment with my intention. So I know broadly what I have to do. So then I go about finding the places where my audience is, and I get in touch with the people that are facilitating those groups or the podcasts or whatever. And then I follow through on that. Do you see how I'm speaking with regards to fully being in alignment with my intention? I
Yeah.
have steps per se to get to from point A to point B, but I'm not feeling stressed over it. I'm not setting very detailed step by step goals, or that if I don't meet them, I'm a bad person.
So I guess to kind of line everything up with goals and intentions, you would say that for me, this is how I see it. Goals are basically used to reach the future. Okay, they are an as you might say, an outcome. How do I get to where it is that I want to go? Okay, the attention says that I'm lining everything up to where it is I want to go. I haven't put the goal in place yet, but I've got the intention that this is someone that I want to be. Now, since I know who I want to be, how do I become that? That's the goal. How do I become? The intention is the now. Now I know, but I need to move forward and really need to figure it out. And I think a lot of people uh get that kind of wrong, and that's kind of like the workshop that I do when I'm teaching about visions and I'm teaching about dreams. They are totally different things. They come together, they do come together, but they're so different. So I love that. I love it. And just the idea of having a great intention, knowing that, hey, you know what, look, this is something that I feel that needs to happen, okay, in my life, in my business, or what have you. I got to make it happen. But here's the thing, I don't know how to make it happen, okay? So before we do that, though, I've got some guests on Facebook that are saying hello. So I want to say hello back to them. So I've got a question for you. What must one do to be able to have intentions?
You have to have clarity, and you have to be able to move through your fears about where you are and where you're going. And I feel that our intention provides us with who we already are. I mean, it's not like we have to get someplace to be somebody. We are it already. And with the goals, it's more about a mental mindset. It's all about thinking, and the mind is always generating. And so it's more of a mental process where an intention is flowing with who we are already. So that's where I draw the distinction. One is
Okay.
mental, one is just being. I'm just being. Oh, this is presenting itself for me to do now to get me to point B and C and D.
All right. So, what does it take to do both, setting the intention and setting the goal? Can you give us an example of each one, maybe?
Sure. So I would say a goal is maybe writing down the steps that it'll take, like I gave before. Like I have to reach out to podcasters, I have to reach out to the facilitators of these speaking organizations. So that's the step or a goal, right? I'm still aligned with my intention, knowing that who I am is someone that wants to serve humanity
Mm-hmm.
in the broad sense. So that's the distinction. So that's thinking part. But as I go about doing and giving and living my message, I am already that. I am the living, breathing entity of that message.
Great, great. So I know that some of the things that you have to share is more or less about being clear on your innermost vision. Okay.
That's right.
Determining what you value the most, carrying out whatever that question is within you, making sure that you carry it out and you get the answer, the solution that you need. And how do you want to present this vision into the world? So, we're going to talk about that for a minute. We're going to talk about being clear on your innermost vision. So, and I believe that uh, a lot of people, mm, you actually have to, it needs to be realistic. Okay. So somebody may say, for my vision, I want to be a billionaire. Okay, but there's some things that you got to go through before you get to that point of being a billionaire. If
That's right.
as we drop down, you need to be a millionaire. We drop down from there, you need to have money in the bank, you need to have good credit, you need to have a great idea that gets you that $1 million. Okay, so you need to be clear what on that innermost vision. So what do you have to say about that, Carol?
I think that's a perfect analogy. You have to be realistic. You have to really accept and appreciate where you are right now. Because if you don't accept where you are now, you'll never get over there. And that's what I think a lot of people have a hard time with. They're grasping and grabbing at stuff in the future that they can't hold on to because it's not real.
It's
What
not
is
real.
now is real. And where we are now is our starting point. And so when we can accept that, then we can build on it with more clarity. Yes, we have a vision of where we want to go, but and like you said, it has to be realistic,
It
and
definitely
everything comes
does.
in steps, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only that, we have to determine what you value most. What,
That's
to
right.
me, what not only value the most, what you there could be 10 or 12 different things that you have. Let's take a vision board, okay? If you got a vision board, just see the vision board and see all of the things that you have on that vision board, and it could be in all different categories or industries, however you set it up. But you can't do them all at one time. So what's going to come first? Where does that first vision lie? How are you going to make that happen? So if one of the things on your vision board is about, I need to change my mindset, okay? All right. So if you've had a limited mindset, I'll say a limited mindset from the beginning, okay? In order to be a multimillionaire or a billionaire, you do need to change your mindset. If you've only got $1 in the bank, and I'm just giving you a scenario, if you got $1 in the bank, okay, and that's all you've been able to put away, then definitely you got to change your mindset. So that's the first thing you start working on. What you value the most and what you go after, you persist on in going after all the time, is what you will bring into your life. Okay. You will have to know, you know what? I value having great credit. So I'm going to go after that. I'm going to start doing that. What do you say about determining what you value the most, Carol?
Absolutely. I think that's really important. Our values are aligned, they speak to who we are as well, and what we want to achieve, and how we want to be in the world, how we want to show up in the world, and how we fulfill our vision. It has
Absolutely.
everything to do with our values.
It does. And I think everybody should actually know what that is to them. I value above all integrity, above
Hmm.
all. And then behind integrity, the other thing that I value is I value true love. Now, I'm not talking about love between a woman and a man, but I'm talking about that love that says that you don't just tolerate me because of maybe what I have or what I can give you, what I can offer. You actually celebrate me for just being who I am and what I do. So I really value that. Okay. And the other thing I value is unity. I value unity in the family. I value unity in friendship. I value unity in business. Okay. And my thing is always, if you kick me once, you ain't gotta worry about kicking me twice, okay? Because I'm not hanging around and I ain't coming back for you to kick me a second time. So I those are things that I value. Everything we fall out of friendship with people and fall out of family with people for some of the craziest things, okay? And years later, we can't even remember what it was all about. All we know is that I don't know what happened, but I know she wasn't right, or she didn't do this, or she didn't do that. Where does your values lie?
Hmm.
And what do you say that your values are? Does it mean anything to you at all to let's say to set aside and say, well, you know what, I'm going to have two values, that two things that I value the most, okay, and I'm going to stand on that all the time. What about you, Carol?
You know what? There are two things that I take a stand for, and that's authenticity. If I'm not authentic to myself, I'm going to be in the wind. I'm going to be pushed from pillar to post in the on the outside, and
Mm,
people will not know where I stand.
Yeah, yeah.
And, that's so very important. We have to know what we stand for. And, and like you said, integrity, being integrous to me is a very personal thing. Integrity, authenticity, they kind of go hand in hand for me. And so when I'm not being true to myself, how can I be true to anybody else?
It's so true. Absolutely. It is so true. And then the last thing is, how do I want to present this vision in the world? And I think that just being yourself, if you're yourself, and you know who you are and you know where you're going, then there's no problem presenting that vision that you have on the inside of you to the world. It's when you get confused as to what it is you want to do, what it is you want to say. And most of the time, I think that comes because we're trying to duplicate someone else. We're not really being, like you said, authentic. We're not being our true self. So, in doing that, we lose our way and we actually lose the true vision that we originally had for ourselves. We sit down and we wrote the vision, we saw the vision, we knew that that was the vision, but because we decided that we were going to try and do it the way that Susie or John did it, okay, all of a sudden it's not so valuable anymore. So that's something else that we need to really, really pay attention to. You think that?
I agree.
Okay.
And the other thing about that is that, when we're not solid in who we are, we begin to take advice and allow all this information from so many different sources to influence us, and we lose our way. Like I said, we're like a tumbleweed rolling down the road from one side to the other. And we don't know what we really want anymore. We don't know who we are anymore. But when we're solid and we put that stake in the ground, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, and nothing can push or pull me away. And I feel solid.
So true. I heard something. I was listening at Miles Monroe the other day, talking on TV, and he said, and I say the same thing all the time. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody wants to give you their opinion, even though you didn't ask for it. There are going to be people that's going to like you, people that's not going to like you. And guess what? I'm not going to worry about any of it, okay? Because I like who I am. I know who I am. I know exactly what I want. And guess what? Ain't nobody going to give me a paycheck except for me. I have to make my own way, okay? So, in making my own way, I have to make sure that I am presenting myself in the best light that I can do. Why? Because I'm the light that takes over the dark. So that's my vision.
Yeah,
I'm the light that takes over the dark. Okay.
that's so true. That's so true. And Dorothy, when we were talking about earlier about being confused or not knowing what we're wanting in any given moment, that's not a problem so much as when we lie about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, I can say, you know what, I'm confused right now, I don't really know what I'm doing right now. Okay, be honest about that, because the moment you're honest about something, there's clarity in that. There's clarity in knowing where you are and how you're feeling in any given moment. And you can move from that point. But when you're confused and you're lying to yourself about that you've lost your way, oh, you might as well just sit down and pull the covers over your head, right?
It's true. It's true. You know what I always say? It's okay not to be okay. It's
Yes.
okay to even say, you know what, at this present moment, I'm lost, or I've been stopped in my tracks for whatever the reason may be. Now, here's the thing. That's okay, but just don't stay there. Okay. Um, we all think there are a lot of different things that come at us that causes us to back up, okay, and to stop our progress. When that happens, for us, what we need to do is we need to stop, we need to reset ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And when we reset ourselves, we need to regroup because we need to figure out, okay, what's the next step? Never step out not knowing what the next step is. You need to stay exactly where you are. Once you regroup, okay, then then you can step out and do whatever it is that next step is. So it's okay. It's like you saying, well, I'm going to buy a house, okay? And I'm going to buy a house in 2 months. You got the money, you got the resources, you got all the people that you need to help you buy the house. But in the meantime, you say, well, I need to I need to rent a house for the 2 months while I'm waiting to move into the house. Now that you've rented the house, okay, you decide that I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay in this rented house. It's not where you want to be. You're unhappy. Okay, you don't have that big yard that you wanted. You can't invite the family over the way you wanted to invite the family over. Why? Because you decided that you would stay in the past instead of moving into the future. So we have to figure we have to discover. I'm just going to say we have to discover that rediscover that inner intention that we have and
Right.
use by whatever means necessary to fulfill that intention. And you said it when we talk in the whether it's inspirational, whether it's being empowered, whether it's being motivated, it really just doesn't make a difference. We just have to figure out what lies deep on the inside of you that you need to discover and you need to make happen. Okay.
Right. Yes.
So most people, I think, most people don't know when they get stuck. They don't know what the next step is, so they just step out. So when you do that, okay, when you don't know anything, as they say, you'll fall for anything. Okay, so we have to know. Sit still, regroup, get yourself together. Get a journal, write in it. So even if you forget, you can go back to the journal and say, okay, this is what I wrote. I was looking the other day. I'm going to share this with you, and then I'm going to let you finish telling us about intention. Is I was getting ready to send some cards out, some thank you cards out. And as I was going through the cards, there was a stack of them inside of each other, and I pulled them out. I can't even tell you when I did this. Now this is an intention, okay? But in doing that intention, what happened was I wrote on the inside of it. I wrote my debt inside of it, okay? For every credit card I had, I wrote inside of it the credit card name. I wrote the last digits of the credit card. I wrote the credit card, the amount, and then on the bottom, I put on there paid in full in Jesus' name. So it was about 6 of them. It was quite a bit, quite a few of them. But I remember having an intention. I was like about $75,000 in debt total. Okay, but I had the intention that I was going to come out. That's why I said I don't remember exactly when I wrote it, but I did. I started writing them. Now, this has got to be at least, I don't know, it may be 10 or 15 years ago that I wrote that. Okay. But here's the thing, every last credit card was paid off, zero balance. Zero balance. And I was just looking at them. Now I still got the same credit cards, but they all got zero balance. What happened? I had an intention. I set a goal. I rediscovered that these were some things that were in my life that I needed to change. And guess what? I got inspired to make it happen. And I
Yeah.
actually did that, So, Carol,
Ah,
everything that you're writing about and you're talking about, guess what? I can relate to that because it's something that I've already done. So when we're talking about I want to be empowered to deeply look into ourselves to discover the innermost intention and be filled with inspiration to fulfill that intention. You want to tell us a little bit about that? I've shared my point, so I'm putting it all
I,
back on you.
I love that. That is the perfect example of intention because deep down, it was, it was even part of the fulfillment of who you are, not only personally, but in the world. And part of being that and representing that was becoming debt free. So our intention isn't separate from how we have to fulfill those needs, those survival needs, even to be able to fill the larger intention. We are holes within holes within holes, right? And we, when we are aware that we are part of, and I'm going to get a little woo woo here, that we are part of a cosmic need, if you will, right? Um, our purpose becomes bigger than just our little selves. We become part of the a need to fulfill on a larger scale. And when we can hold that vision, then we can take all the necessary steps to fulfill that. And we're not invested in the outcome per se. We're just doing ourselves. We're just being ourselves. And the more we just be ourselves, the more we fulfill our destiny, the more we fulfill our purpose, and the more we fulfill the larger purpose of humanity.
And I so believe that. I believe that. We just need to, when we're talking, just going back to the beginning, just talking about intentions and talking about goals. I would imagine most people, nobody really wants to work hard, and I do get that. I don't want to work hard either, but I believe that anything that is worthwhile, it's gonna take work in order to make it happen. Okay. The intention part is that's the easy part of it. Writing my
Right.
intentions, telling someone what my intentions are. Okay. But carrying them out, man, oh my God, that's the thing. Just getting it carried out. And doing that, sometimes we even need a little help. I don't mean somebody you got to go out and pay someone, but we need someone that has been where we are, that
Mm-hmm.
has something. It's more or less like having a circle of people. Like I have a circle of prayer people, a team of prayer people. When I need to do some show enough deep down praying and I need some help, I've got a circle that I can call of people that are prayer warriors. When I need information when it comes to putting together strategies for my business and stuff like that, I have a circle of people that I can call in a mastermind group that we meet all the time, just to now we've been together maybe about 3 years. Okay, we meet now just to catch up and see what's going on. But if I say, hey, you know what, I got an issue and I need to find some information or what have you, we come together to make that happen. And I think we all need that. We need a circle, and it doesn't have to be a large circle. It could be 2 people, 3 people, however many people you think it takes. You make that decision, but we do need
That's
some
right.
people to tap into that's already been where we've gone, that's going in the same direction. I say this, okay? Don't have a quart size vision that you're trying to fulfill, a quart size or let's say a gallon size vision you're trying to fulfill, and then you go back and you're sharing it with pint sized people. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. You've got gallon size gifts and visions and ideas and things, then you got to share them with someone that's on the same level that you're on. Someone that can help walk you through the process. Somebody that says, "Girl, you got that. You got that. If you need my help, I'm there to help you and walk you through the process." Not somebody that says, "Oh, girl, that's too big. That's too big for you. You can't make that happen." Okay. No, you don't need that. You need just the opposite. Okay. And in saying that, I'm sharing in the link. Oh, Luana, thank you. Luana Bradford says you can't pour new wine into old wine skin. And that's true. It is so
Right?
true.
Oh my
Thank you
goodness,
for
that's great.
that. Yes, yes. Thanks for dropping in. Jan Weber is watching us as well. And it's true. And that's why, I'm always thinking that now, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to kick anybody to the curb. If you got a circle of pint-sized people that are thinking small, they're okay where they are, they don't want any more, don't need any more, I'm not telling you kick anybody to the curb. What I'm saying is you also need a new group. Okay, you
Hmm.
also need a new group. And they say it all the time, if you're the smartest one that's in the group, guess what? All right, you need a whole new group. You need a whole new group. So find a new group that can help walk you through the intentions. When once you've got all of the intentions down that you want, regardless of what that may be, then create your circle. I'm about, if you need a door to open for you and it's not open, then guess what? Kick the door in
Yeah.
and open the door yourself. Do it
Right.
yourself. You don't have to wait on anybody else. And if you don't know how to do it, then guess what? Find someone, please find someone that knows exactly what it means to kick the door down and walk on in. Okay, don't do it by yourself. If you don't know, there's so many people out here that have done what we're trying to do. They've already done it. We don't have to invent the wheel. Okay, it's already been invented for us. All we got to do is just grab the wheel and just use it. Okay, don't go around and round and round on the wheel. Okay, don't do that. Okay, but just know that there are people out there that have done what you're doing, and they're waiting on you just to say that you need their help, and they're available for you. What do you think, Carol?
I love that. I couldn't agree more. We live in a society where we're programmed to think that we have to do it all on our own and be by ourselves. And that's what triggers the failure and success dynamic and all those negative feelings when we can't fulfill that on our own. You don't become a doctor when you don't know how to use a scalpel. You don't become a surgeon when you don't know how to use a
Ooh,
scalpel. So
right.
you have to be able to go to the right people, and you have to know who the right people are. This is the part about clarity, right? And quality of consciousness, about knowing, oh, that person really does know what they're doing. They have done this and this and this to actually get where they are. So that's the person that I need to talk to about the questions that I have about how do I get there as well. And that's the power of clarity and having a strong intention, because we're clear about what we don't know, and then we can become clear about who the right person or people are to support us in helping us get where we need to go.
Absolutely. And don't think just because a lot of us are online, like I'm gonna talk about me. I'm always gonna talk about me versus anybody else. Okay, don't think because I'm online and I may come and say I have a workshop or I have a retreat or I have something to do that, oh, she ain't got no money, she ain't got no ideas, no, no, no. Let me tell you something. uh I understand that Oprah Winfrey is a multi-billionaire. She is on TV, on radio, online. She's doing Weight Watchers. She's bought a share of Weight Watchers. She's asking people to join Weight Watchers. Now she has a online presence where she's asking people to come in and be a part of her organization, and you got to pay to come in and be a part of that organization. Look, wait a minute, she don't really need you, not financially, she doesn't need you, but she does have something else that you need. She has years of education and experience in the industry that can help you. And I believe that people show up, one, because they want to meet her, they want to be in her presence. Two,
Mhm.
they want her to call out their name or their business so that it can escalate to something different. So I'm just going to put it out there. Pastor Dorothy Mae Ross wants her, Oprah Winfrey, to call her name out, call her business out so she can escalate. Yeah, farther than I've already escalated. I'm just putting it in the atmosphere, so that the Lord can grab it and make it happen. But also, okay, to just find out, how do you proceed to be the best that you can be. So we're all here to make sure that you do everything that you desire to do and to help walk you through it. So I'm going to let Carol tell you about some gifts. I've already put the information into the comment section. And she's going to tell you what she has that she wants to share with you as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, I have this soul filled living quiz that people can take. I'll put it in the chat if you want to grab it. It's a link, and it's a self assessment tool. I love taking quizzes. I like to find out, okay, where am I at on the scale from 1 to 10, and what do I need help in, and you know, where do I need adjustments and stuff like that. So that's what that quiz is about. And when people take that quiz, they'll get a free gift. It's my 7 ways to tap into your power. Um, Power is creativity to me. It's not power over something or someone. Power is about how do we tap into our real
How do we
creativity
tap
of
into it?
that of who we actually are to
Wow.
fulfill the intentions that we have in the world.
Wow. All righty then. That works. That works. So, look, as I said, we're going to talk just a few more minutes and then we're going to leave you. But don't forget to get your tickets to Women of Influence next Friday noon. Come and get your boost of Friday afternoon energy with us as we talk about advancing your business, advancing your personal life, and bringing it all in line. It's going to be an amazing afternoon, okay? And the tickets are only $10. So, hey, look, we look forward to having you to join us. We're going to be posting every day next week to make sure that you don't miss it. Sometimes you don't have your credit card with you or you're not in the right place. So, we don't want you to miss it. So, we're going to continuously post it and we look forward to seeing you there. So, now, it's my little time for Porch Talk Live, my playtime. Okay. So one of the things that I love to do is talk about some of the crazy dreams we've had, some crazy conversations we've had. And the Brickertons, this is a movie that's on TV. And look, Stacy Clark uh, is the one that turned me on to that. And I am in love with that show. Okay. So, believe it or not, I had a dream about him last night. I didn't watch him yesterday, but I had a crazy dream about him that I walked up to him and said, "Hey, we're gonna have a new routine that we're gonna put in place." And he said, "What's that?" I said, "Bend down." And when he bent down, I kissed him and he smiled. Guess what? I woke up. God dog it, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to wake up, but I woke up, you know. So, Porch Live is just about just having a little fun. So, I don't know if Carol can step into a movie that she's watched that she's enjoyed. It could be the Brickertons, it could be something else. I don't know. But I just want to hear just a little bit. I love fun stuff. Okay. So, Carol,
Oh my
what can
gosh,
you
you hit the
share?
nail on the head. I love the Bridgertons. I think it's so smart. You know, the women in that show are so smart, and I love the how it's set up. It's, you know, you don't have to be white, black, red, you know, orange or anything. You know, it's just about the characters and who the best person to play the character is that brings that whole show alive. I just love the concept of it. It's so
Yeah.
diverse. It's so beautifully done
Yeah, you know
and
what?
funny.
Yeah, it is funny. I could not believe when I started watching the show how, like you say, they're all races there, and nobody is looking at anybody as to them being out of place. And
Yeah.
I love that part. But of course, I love the part. Everybody is looking for love. Everybody
Hmm.
wants love. They're looking for somebody to spend their life with. And I'm telling you, it is just amazing. It's just amazing. And me myself, I love love stories. I love the love stories. Pretty Woman. I love that movie as well. Now we didn't come just to talk about movies, but we're in that space. So I
I love
love
it.
I love Pretty Woman, and
Me too.
how Stella got her groove back. Now I really fell in love with that simply because not because she was an older woman with a younger man. It wasn't that. It was just the idea that, like most of us, we really, really work hard in our business. We work harder at our business than we do at anything else. Okay. And she found a way to kind of put it on the back burner in order to bring some excitement and some joy into her life. Okay. Something a lot of us need to do, bring a little excitement and joy. But I love it. And then I am a Star Trek fan. I love
Ugh.
me some Star Trek. Oh my God.
We
So
lived so if we lived close to each other, we'd be watching these shows like crazy together. I
I
love Star Trek.
yes, I love Star Trek, and I love the idea of how the leaders, the captains, each one of them has their own first mate. Okay.
Hmm.
And now this is something that I really love about that movie is the people that are standing beside them are not trying to take their place.
Right.
They know their place. They know who they are. They know what their responsibilities are, okay? And they stand on that, and I love that. I love the idea that each captain, from Captain Kirk all the way up to Captain Janeway, okay, they take pride in the people that stand beside them. I love the fact that they're not judgmental. and they accept the fact that everybody can make mistakes. Okay, so with Janeway, I now don't ask me to tell everybody's name, because I do, even though I watch it all the time, I do forget people's name. But Janeway and her first mate, okay, what I believe they got lost on the planet together, okay, and they thought that they were going to always be together. I cannot think of his name, and but they didn't. They got rescued. They had already set up their place and everything. I think they had made up in their minds that they were going to come together as one when they actually got rescued. And Captain Picard, he's another Kirk. I don't care what nobody say. He's an older Kurt, okay? Because all the
Mhm.
women love him. Him and his bald head, and his um, standoffish nature. I say everybody loves him. Okay, so now my question to you, Carol, is if you could have one of those captains standing beside you, which one would you
Ooh.
choose?
Ooh.
So we
I would say, you know who I like, and this is gonna might throw you off a little bit, but I like Captain Pike.
Captain Pike. Okay, okay,
He just
okay.
kind of goes with the flow. He's got the humor, he's got the heart, and he's got the vision.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love him. They've actually got a new movie out. I just watched the first two series yesterday for Captain Pike. Now, me, I like the younger Kurt, uh, not Captain Kirk, but let's say his son. I can't think of what his name is, but I like the
Robert?
younger version of him because
Yeah.
he wasn't fearful of
Hmm.
anything. He's the kind that, if you say I can't do it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, just because I know I can do it, and I love that about him. Okay, so now this is coming off of the table. Okay, so if you had to fight a battle, which one
Ooh.
would you choose to fight a battle with?
Michael Burnham
My Oh God.
from Discovery.
From
She's
Discovery.
my she's my Shiro.
Okay, all
I
right.
absolutely love her.
She actually is. And me, I would take Janeway. I would take Captain Janeway if I had to fight a battle with. I'm telling you. Okay, great, 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 great.
Oh, this
And
is fun. I love it.
all right, so last thing, I always do three when I get a chance to. The last thing is, can you think of anything that was funny or unusual? This is from grammar school to high school to college to adult in any of the areas. Can you think of anything that was interesting, funny,
Mm.
different, crazy? I have a story of, and I tell it often, when I had a boyfriend that I quit, and I didn't want any parts of him anymore. But he came and he sit on my back stair. We stayed like on the second floor, so he came up the back stairs and sit on the top of the stairs all night long. No, well, not all night, but a couple of hours, just begging me, begging me, begging me to take him back, take him back. And it got so bad, my grandmother said, "My God, girl, will you take him back so he can go home?" And I was like, I opened the door and I was like, I say, what is wrong with you? I told you I don't want you to beg. I'll do better. I'll do better. I'll do better. I was like, oh, okay, okay. I'll take you back. I'll take you back. I got a whole lot of stories, but that one kind of like sticks with me the most because I was like, I did quit him again. I didn't marry him or anything. I did quit him again, but he was a ladies' man. Okay. I had
Mm.
always said that all of my children will be by one man, whomever I decide to marry. So I wasn't promiscuous, okay, and he didn't like that, and because of that, he had a lot of female friends. I didn't care about the female friends, but I got tired of hearing about the female friends and where he was taking them and what he was doing with them. So I was like, this has got to go. So, did you come up with anything yet?
Well, it's funny because I thought about this teacher that I had when I was really young, and it reminded me of my kind of teasing nature that I some people might not know that I actually have a sense of humor. But I had this teacher who used to call me Miss Pinkleton. My name is not the easiest name to say. It kind of is ties people's tongues sometimes. It's Pilkington, right? I separated into 3 words. Well, I decided one day that I was just going to call him Mr. His name was Haniotis, and I'd say, "Okay, Mr. Hankiotis." So we had this banter back and forth. I couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 at the time. Maybe he was like my music teacher or something. And it was so funny. We had this little banter back and forth. Miss Pinkleton, Mr. Hankiotis. And I loved this teacher.
Oh, wow.
He made school fun for me. And when most of the time school was not fun for me, but he made it fun. He made it light. And so I always appreciated that.
That's wonderful. That's a wonderful story. Because I know I had one teacher that I remember from grammar school, and I really, really loved her. Because I was kind of an outcast in grammar school until I got into the 8th grade. So, but she didn't treat me like that at all, and I really, really loved her for that. So that's the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen, and we appreciate you stopping in. I so appreciate Carol for coming on and being my guest today. I look forward to our event on Friday. Remember, don't forget to get your ticket and save your seat. We have a prize for you, a grand prize for our ticket buyer. So when you come to the event, you are going to be shocked at we're only going to pick one person, okay? But you're going to be shocked at the giveaway that we're going to give, okay? So I'm looking forward to seeing you. Don't be late, be on time. That's going to be Friday, May 27th, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central, where Carol Pillington will be. I think I got it right. No, no, I didn't get it right. Oh, God. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Pillington. No, no. Okay. What is it?
Pilkington.
Pilkington. Oh, gosh. All right. It's been grand. It's been swell. And as my co host Camille Robb always says, you are loved, you are appreciated, and we'll see you again on next week. It has been great. I thank you. I'll see you again soon. Okay? Bye bye.
Recording stopped.
And I need to, wow, I'm telling you,
That
sometimes